Since focusing on a diverse programming lineup, Channel 6 has been honored with numerous awards, including a Lone Star Emmy for innovative programming and an award for overall excellence in programming from National Association of Telecommunication Officers and Advisors. Keith has also been instrumental in transforming the TV monitoring process for Channel 6, which is a division of the City Communications and Public Information Offices. In today's presentation, Keith will discuss the City of Austin's utilization of PEG funds for monitoring their PEG channel, as well as other channels on TV. You'll see that City of Austin is truly a role model, demonstrating the best practices for smart city management and efficiently sharing resources. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Keith Reeves.
Thank you, Mike. You all know Austin, Texas. We're the 11th largest city by population in the country. We're hovering around 900,000 residents now. Capital of Texas, live music capital of the world. Unofficial slogan is "Keep Austin Weird." We're known for a lot of high tech, like Dell, Samsung, Apple, Google, Facebook, all have some offices here. Obviously, got lots of government with the Capitol, and we've got Travis County, which has their own TV station, the only county channel in Texas to have their own TV station. So, one of the reasons I'm speaking today, and one of the things that we backs up one of the things that our city manager drives, is to be the best managed city, and just to help other cities learn how to use some of these PEG funds. There's a lot of questions about what can I use for these funds for, and what can't I. So we'll get into that a little bit today. We've got a lot, so I'll talk a little bit about SnapStream first and how we use that, and then I'll get into the PEG funds discussion. So, we've got a lot of citizen and media interest in what we do. We've got all the major networks have affiliates here, plus Univision, and we've got a 24-hour news channel run by Time Warner Cable. We probably get about 150 news stories per month on TV about City of Austin departments, a lot more in the past month because of budget issues and that sort of thing. Our citizens want open and transparent government, so that's been one of our initiatives for a long time. That's one of the reasons why we televise so many meetings. We televise about 45 public meetings per month, plus a lot of original programming for our departments to help educate the public on a variety of issues and event coverage, that sort of thing. So before we had SnapStream, we had a bank of VCRs, like 12 VCRs that were all networked in, and it was just a mess. It was terribly inefficient. So we saw SnapStream at I think it was at a TOA conference, and at the time we really just stopped using this bank of VCRs because it was so time intensive, and it was really just difficult to manage. We had a couple of other departments that were recording things on their own little bank of VCRs and trying to figure out different ways to do it. But bottom line is, if we really needed a clip, we were paying per clip to Teleclips, that company like that. It got very cost prohibitive. The way that the City of Austin is set up, Channel 6 is within the Corporate Public Information Office, and we handle anything relating to city management or large issues that span multiple departments. But we've got 35 other departments, and they're directly responsible for public information needs for their department. Each one has between 1 and 5 public information staff, who all of them have SnapStream clients that they use. Everybody on the same system. It gives them the autonomy to pull their own TV clips, and they can monitor media coverage. So we record every newscast in Austin, and over those 35 departments, we have, I think now we've got about 100 users that have access to those files, and they go in, they can do the searches. I think we'll get a demo later, and they can pull those clips. It's really been something that saved us a lot of money in paying by the clip like we did in the past, and time. It's just super efficient to do that, and with the new cloud share, it's very, very easy to share that with city council, city management, or directors that might have been interviewed. So say they got interviewed on the news and they want to hear exactly what was said. It's very easy to do that. It just takes a few minutes to go in there and make that clip. So there, on the next slide, you've got all of the different channels that they record. We've got an 8-tuner setup. So 6 of those tuners are dedicated to our channels, our broadcast channels to record news and whatnot. Tuner number 7, it records our government access channel 24/7. That is our backup in case something crazy goes on in the control room. But we also use that to download transcripts. We closed caption our council meetings. We can download transcripts of our council meetings through SnapStream as well. So every day we have a 24-hour recording of what was on our channel. So if there's some question on whether something played back correctly, or if there was some sort of technical problem that we didn't get that master recording, we've got that recording always. Then we also record one-off newscasts. Sometimes our departments ask for videos for educational purposes. Our police department, there was a documentary on a gang that is starting to be more prevalent here in Austin, and they wanted us to record that so they could use that for training purposes. And sometimes there's national news that they want us to record as well, so you can easily go in and do that. Okay, so when we originally purchased SnapStream, I want to say it was about 5 years ago, we had, we didn't have the money to just buy it outright because we did not have PEG funds at that time. So we went to about 6 or 7 departments and said, okay, if we each pitch in X number of dollars, then we can get the system and it's going to be great. And it took a lot of sort of pounding the pavement to get them to come to the table and help us fund this. And everybody was very happy with it once we got it. But 5 years later, we needed to do an upgrade. We wanted to better quality recordings. We wanted larger capacity, and we wanted some of the new features that SnapStream is offering. So this time, now we are collecting PEG funds. So we started collecting PEG funds about 2 years ago. We receive payment every quarter. So PEG funds, for those who don't know, PEG stands for Public Education and Government Access Television Channels. So PEG funds are funds that are collected by the cable provider in your city, and they send a quarterly payment to you at 1% of their gross revenue. And there are some specific restrictions that you can only use that on capital equipment. We'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. So San Antonio was the first in the state. They've been collecting, I think, about 7 years now. Their franchise expired within a few months of the new legislation going into effect. They are building a really great facility in downtown San Antonio right now, renovating an historic building. It's going to be used for studios and a control room and edit suites and offices for their video production staff. So as state franchising came into effect in 2005, Texas passed the state cable franchise law, and that mandates that 1% of the cable provider's gross revenue is given to the city. These laws were motivated by, there were some new cable providers, Verizon, AT&T, that wanted to start providing cable services, and they didn't want to be tied to the having to work out a franchise agreement with each city, so they convinced the state that it would be more efficient for them to roll out this new technology if they did not have to negotiate with each city. So every cable provider in Texas that provides cable in Texas now has a state franchise. Some cities, not very many left, are still governed by a local franchise agreement that was in place in 2005. sometimes those can be 10 years long. So there are still a few that are under local franchise. So you need to check that with whoever administers that in smaller cities. It's usually someone in the law department or a utility department. So the city collects all of these funds, and we decide how they'll be distributed among the various PEG channels based upon need and request. And we've got 7 different channels here in Austin, managed by 5 different entities. Got the school district, a nonprofit that's public access, Travis County, us, and the community college all have channels. So, but the money comes to the city, and then the other channels, will let us know what their equipment needs are, and we'll make that decision. So some examples of the capital expenditures that we have been using our funds on: video production equipment, computer technology, vehicle for broadcasting, just a transport vehicle really, renovation and construction of facilities. That's what we're working on right now, to overhaul our entire control room and cameras in our council chambers. Then that includes office furniture, TV monitoring technology, but you can't cover any subscription services out of that, meaning you can't, if a vendor is going to charge you a monthly fee to subscribe to for support, that sort of thing. You can do that as long as it's along with the capital purchase, but you can't just go out and say, okay, I'm going to spend $10,000 on support of my SnapStream system. I don't think it's that much. I don't think it's that amount, but just as an example, unless it's tied into the purchase of that capital equipment. So I think next we're going to do a little SnapStream demo here.
So we're going to jump into a little demonstration for anybody that hasn't seen what SnapStream brings to the table. So real quickly here, we'll bring up our SnapStream system, and you can see it's a very simple web-based interface. We've made it easy for users to access SnapStream across multiple web browsers. So for this example, we're using Google Chrome. Up at the top here, we've added many hot link buttons, we'll call them, to access many of the various pages of SnapStream. So just jumping into SnapStream, just our admin page here, just to show you what we have. This SnapStream system that we're using is a 20-tuner system, so we can record 20 channels simultaneously. Our program guide, which is laid out pretty similar to a cable television or satellite DVR, is delivered once we've actually set our tuners and our channels. So here you can see the program guide. Very easily, I can navigate what is coming on television. I can see what I'm currently recording, and if I want to actually set a recording, I can easily select a show, and then over to the right, I get information about the actual show, as well as my recording options. So we can easily record a single episode. I can record all episodes. I can record episodes of a specific time slot. Or with SnapStream, we give you the ability to record everything 24/7. So once you actually set your recording, we'll come back up in here to our library where all of our recordings are actually stored. So with SnapStream, you have the ability to view recorded broadcast as well as in-progress recordings. And the in-progress recordings are indicated here by the red dot. So for example, if I wanted to view CNN Newsroom, I could instantly just select play. If I know the broadcast is going to go over a little bit, I can extend the recording, or I can even view a transcript immediately from that broadcast as it's happening. Now with SnapStream, we also, with in-progress recordings, you can watch TV as it happens. So if we instantly select CNN Newsroom, what you'll notice is the broadcast itself is going to start off at the beginning of the broadcast, but I can easily jump over to the end, and instantly I'm about 1 to 2 seconds off of the actual